So the question is, should we really always carry? Now, when I say carry, I mean, of course, carrying a firearm, as we are in the context of our little gun community circle on YouTube. The question was posed earlier this week, and it's been asked before, and the more recent entry into this question was Fate of Destiny, which she had some very interesting points that I'd like to explore. Before we begin, I would like to bring up a qualifier, for lack of a better term. There are two different types of unpermissible carry, and unpermissible carry is a very advanced discussion. Okay, before you begin talking about non-permissible carry, you need to have a mindset and a level of maturity. Not saying that that Fate of Destiny does not possess that. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. There's a level of maturity in the discussion of non-permissible carry that you need to go into it with the heart of a student, to listen to other people's perspectives without making up your mind and jumping the gun, if you could avoid the unintentional pun, on getting upset with your own views, like these are my views and everybody else is wrong, and if you don't like it, go to hell. That's not something. The closed-minded approach is not one that's welcome in any discussion of non-permissible carry, because the people that are partaking in non-permissible carry have a lot on the line, and they have made the choice between both their and public safety and the possibility of prosecution or legal ramifications. But I'm not going to get into that in this video either, because again, that's a discussion that I don't want to have until I am certain that the audience is completely comprised of those people that are at that level that can have such discussions of legality without flying off the handle. Okay. What we're going to talk about is non-permissible carry from an ethical standpoint. Now, to define it, the difference between ethics and legality is, let's say you can do a thing, okay, a particular thing, and let's say it's carrying a firearm in this instance, and it's perfectly legal to carry your firearms in this particular thing. Let's say you're going to a family reunion at some sort of a park where it is legally permissible to carry your firearm. Ethically is the question. Ethics is a perceived or subjective point of view where just because something is legal does not necessarily make it ethically or morally right. However, once again, that is a subjective issue, and the question then remains is what is it that makes it more ethical to carry in a scenario? Is it just your family and friends' perception? Is it your level of training? Or is it just a personal thing? I would say it's all of the above. Here's some problems that I do see for a fact, and this is the biggest problem as it pertains to non-permissible carry from an ethical standpoint. And this is something that I see time and time and time again. This is just me, and I'm into firearms and everything else, but I know every single person at work who has a carry permit. And I know if I'm around a person, the average carry permit holder, if I am around them within 3 hours, I'm able to find out whether or not they have a carry permit. Now, that's not to say that there aren't some who keep it on the low, and and I've never even known it, but there are many, many people who I have discovered through their own discussion, through their own volition, they bring it up in conversation that one, they have a permit, and two, whether or not they're carrying. And in some cases, exactly what they're carrying. And I'm just some schmo, and I find that out. So from an ethical standpoint, as it pertains to family and friends, if you personally feel that it is all right to carry in this otherwise non-ethical situation, then keep it to yourself. It's not a good idea to have your concealed weapon known to other people, even friends, because they're going to act differently towards you if a situation happens, and you need to keep that all of that business on the low. That's the point of the concealed carry, especially as it comes down to carry itself, because you never know who's listening. You never know who's in that crowd that you're talking to. So there is that, and I think that goes the longest way from an ethical standpoint from other people's perception, because if they don't know that you're carrying, then it really doesn't matter. And we are very concerned about printing and stuff like that, but luckily we live in today's age where it's not uncommon for people to have clunky ass cell phones on their belts and things like that. So we are living in just the luckiest time from a concealment standpoint, because people see lumps on a person all the time. So even if you are unintentionally printing, it'll get glazed over because people are just so used to seeing that. Now what they aren't used to seeing is that little Smith & Wesson 642 stainless steel in your pocket as you lean over to take a look at some cold cuts in the little thing, and your front pocket opens up, and the person's trained and to look for firearms, and you see that thing stick it in the pocket. It can be pretty harrowing. And I went through a phase personally where when I saw a person printing, I'd point it out to them, as opposed to the tourist method of carry on. I'd be like, "You're printing, asshole." But I've since given that up. The person who suggested that, I think, was a retard. What I see as printing usually is not what the average person would see. Not that I'm somehow above average, but I'm looking for a firearm. Other people aren't. And that's something I think when you are out and about, you keep your eye out, because it's not always the good guys who are printing. Okay, and that comes down to avoiding altercations and avoiding danger. And usually when I do see a person printing, whether or not they seem like a button-up honky or not, I'll usually take my family out of the area. If we're in the mall and there's somebody walking in front of us that is printing, and I noticeably see that they're printing, I will actually slow my family down as my head is on a swivel, and I will stay out of the area. Because again, even if they are a civilian carry permit holder and it's perfectly legal, I don't want to be around and subjected to the skills of this person that I know nothing of. Nobody, it's just me, and I think that's part of keeping out of danger. You could walk your family through a kennel filled with police dogs, but is it a good idea? Or is it something that you need to be aware of, the possibility of danger? So there is that. And I think this is a good entry into all of it. I've covered the bases that I think I want to cover, with the exception of training. Like what is a good level of training? I think that's up to the individual. I would like to see an individual be able to one, draw their firearm and be able to hit a target at a reasonable distance with their chosen carry firearm. I would like to see that chosen carry firearm be able to have the reliability of being able to cycle through a full magazine or a full load of ammunition, reload, and continue to fire. Ideally, I would like for the person carrying that to know the limitations and faults of their firearms, not just throw that little Kel-Tec P3AT in their pocket and think they're good to go with their special talisman. So I'd like to see a person know their firearm and know their skills. And anyway, I think this is a great topic and one worth discussing that I don't think it can be explored enough, because we all have different perspectives, and we also need to, believe it or not, listen to those people who have a differing perspective, who do see a greater wall in that bridge of ethics, because I would love to hear about those people who believe that somehow a carry is more, a law-abiding carry permit holder is more dangerous than having no one there with a firearm.